70% completion percentage. 1,700 plus yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 109 quarterback rating. But yet, somehow, clowns like Jason McIntyre tweets out stuff like this. The only thing that I can come up with is you and people like you that think like this don't know much about football. You really don't. I mean, I'm just a fan. I have no vested interest, monetary interest into the team other than, the stuff that I buy. I'm not getting paid by any media outlet. I don't have to know that that's a moronic statement that you made, that you tweeted out yesterday to say that, well, just to paraphrase what you said, you're basically saying that he's a one-hit wonder. Now, Carson Wentz has been sacked 21 times in 6 games. That don't include the amount of times he's been hit. Is that his fault? Is that Carson Wentz's fault? No. That's poor offensive line play. Okay? And because he's been hit and sacked, that resulted in some of those fumbles, which, if you're getting blindsided from behind sometimes, you can't really help that. That's on the offensive line. That's pretty much on the offensive line, right? I mean, I would think so. I mean, if you're getting blindsided from behind from a 6'6", 350-pound guy, what can you do if you don't even know he's coming? You're relying on your offensive lineman to protect you, to prevent stuff like that. And a lot of times, that's been the cause of some of his fumbles. Yeah, Carson Wentz has been fumbling the ball a little bit more often this year than he has in previous years. But I think that that's pretty much the reason why. It's not necessarily his fault. So I don't know what team you are a fan of, but if you get paid by Fox Sports and you think that kind of way, man, give me your job. I don't say I know everything about football. I don't believe that I know everything about football, but I know enough to know better to put out that kind of nonsense. To think that basically you're saying he's a one-hit wonder. The numbers that he puts up this year in just 6 games are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. There's no we're talking about a franchise quarterback. We're talking about a franchise quarterback that will lead us to another Super Bowl. It may or may not be this year, but he will. He absolutely will. And even if he didn't get hurt last year, Nick Foles stepped in. He did a phenomenal job as well. He did what he had to. He played outstanding. And he, obviously, we all know, he won us the Super Bowl, Nick Foles. But do you think my mind, or do you think that outcome would have changed if Wentz never got hurt? Absolutely not. We would have probably still had that same outcome. So, for you, man, I'm sure Jason McIntyre, I'm pretty sure that you probably will actually never see this video. Probably not. I hope that it gets to you though. But you probably won't ever see this. But for the fans out there that do think along those same lines, just sit back, man. Just sit back and wait and watch what this kid does, man. He's 25. Carson Wentz, he's 25, man. He has so many years left ahead of him. This kid, man, he's amazing. He's a special talent. And no, the team is not performing up to expectations following a Super Bowl win. Of course we had higher expectations of being better than 4-4 at this point. Last year at this point, we were 7-1. We were rolling. Unfortunately, it's not the same this year. And I also understand that the quarterback for any team gets most of the praise or takes most of the blame. But if you're a smart person, you know that Carson Wentz is doing everything he can every single game. Sometimes too hard. He's trying too hard sometimes. And he's taking every bit of blame, which I understand that's part of the role of being the starting quarterback. But for you to just be blatantly stupid and make comments like that, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Apparently you don't know the sport. So, that's it, man. That's all I have to say. Learn the game more a little bit, just a little bit. Then you would be able to say that, he's more than a one-hit wonder. We're talking about one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Plain and simple.